Remarks regarding the monuments and memorials of Memorial Park, Danville, Pennsylvania. Today we tour among these memorials. We first note two missing ones: War of 1812, the Mexican-American War. Even as we remember how monuments may remind us of both our nation's virtues and faults, we pause to salute these two absent memorials, and we pay homage to the memorials and monuments that are now surrounding us, kindling in our hearts a mindfulness of the past service rendered by the men and women whose names, either inscribed or heralded in solemn silence, command from us today humility and gratitude. So let us, with equal temperament of honor, respect, and grave repentance, reflect now in silent prayer, pondering the judgment of which future memorials might be placed in this memorial park by our children's grandchildren. We pause. This memorial park was born by the public desire to honor the fading generation of veterans who fought the war for the preservation of the Union. The Civil War monument was the final act necessary for the founding of this park. For before 1909, it was not a park, but a cemetery, the old cemetery, the Presbyterian cemetery, plus two more, the Pretikin family cemetery in the part farthest east across the alleyway, and there near in the old railway bed on the west side, Potter's Field, their graves unmarked, unclaimed, unwept. Here beneath our feet in the old cemetery were laid to rest Danville's earliest forebears, the Montgomery family, and who are very likely still buried here. Michael Blue, Revolutionary soldier, his son Isaac Blue, who formed the Danville Blues to fight the British in the War of 1812. Robert Curry, killed by Indians in 1780. Captain Jacob Gerhardt, hero of the American Revolution, whose bones remain buried beneath our feet. Fittingly and literally, we stand upon them and their labors. But neglect and indifference took their toll, for nature unchecked will seek ruin. Eventually, the cemetery became an embarrassment to the town. Newspapers wrote articles decrying its dilapidated condition, weed-ridden and an eyesore, and the folks at the Grove Presbyterian Church, named for the shady grove of trees, fielded the criticism. After all, they held joint ownership with the mother church, the Mahoning Presbyterian Church. A share in the profits, plus the cemetery was on their doorstep. But alas, Grove had no voice in management. After lots of behind-the-scenes parlor and Mill Street negotiations, Mother Church transferred authority along with full responsibility to Grove, empowering the trustees of Grove Church to dispose of it as they saw fit, so long as Mother Church got 1/2 of any profit, which ended up zero profit because Grove Church had proposed to donate it free to the borough as a public park. The offer stalled in council. The borough worried with the worry of the ages of all borough councils. Who would pay for it? Meanwhile, men from the church cut down the nuisance trees, cleared out the scrub, inventoried the tombstones, and contacted relations regarding the possible relocation or consent to obliteration. Some were willing, some objected, some graves had no relations left to decide. Meanwhile, members of the community, spurred by Bloomsburg's successful campaign to erect a monument to their men who fought in Lincoln's Army and Navy, were raising funds for a fitting monument to the bravery, patriotism, and devotion of the soldiers from the county there who were tested by this great Civil War. A community must never honor war, but it can, will, and must honor those soldiers and non-combatants who serve. May the cause always be as noble as the character of the men and women called to suffer politicians' failure. We come and go. We, like flowers, flourish and wither. Words endure the ages. I read from the Monument Committee's resolution drafted over 100 years ago. Soon the mists and clouds of history will hide from sight the glorious deeds and great sacrifices that are still fresh in our memories. We believe that we should keep forever burning the vestal fire of love of country and preserve in the most imperishable manner their patriotism which promoted our citizen soldiers to risk health, happiness, and life that we and our posterity might enjoy the blessings of an undivided nation, with purely this end in view, to encourage patriotism, reward loyalty, and preserve sacred memories, we hereby agree to erect a monument to be dedicated to the soldiers of Montour County who offered their lives in defense of the Union and will pay the sums herein subscribed. The townsfolk wanted a monument, church and council wanted a park, and the two aims merged, a marriage of more than convenience. It only took 21 years. Around here, that's a short time for getting anything done. Funds were raised, the council accepted ownership, court hearings made it legal, and thus it is we are enriched by these beautiful and moving grounds, where children play, concerts are held, old men and women stroll, and we, with increased devotion, honor the veterans who have served God and country. For these monuments and memorials remain here to remind us of the great task remaining before us. We who cannot consecrate shall remember.